You light a candle. You pull a blanket over your legs. You dim the lights and feel something in your chest loosen. It feels small. It feels like nothing. But the real answer is far stranger. That feeling did not come from a candle company or a Pinterest board. It came from a problem your ancestors had to solve every single night for hundreds of thousands of years, or they did not survive until morning. You call it cozy. Your brain calls it something else entirely. Right now, somewhere in your skull, a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala is constantly asking one question. Is this safe? It does not care about your job, your relationships, or your plans for tomorrow. It only cares about threat. And for most of human history, the answer to that question depended almost entirely on two things. Could you see danger coming? And could danger see you? That sounds abstract. It is not. It is the most concrete survival math there is. A geographer named Jay Appleton spent years studying why certain landscapes feel pleasant and others feel unsettling. In the 1970s he proposed something called Prospect-Refuge Theory. People feel safest, he argued, in spaces that offer two things at once. Prospect, meaning a clear view outward. And refuge, meaning a protected space to retreat into. Think of a cave entrance overlooking a valley. You can see anything approaching. And you have rock at your back. Now think about your living room. The couch against the wall, not floating in the middle of the room. The reading chair tucked into a corner. The blanket fort you built as a child, instinctively, without anyone teaching you how. None of that is decor. That is 50,000 years of risk assessment, quietly running in the background of an evening at home. You are not relaxing by accident. You are recreating a cave. Here is where it gets stranger. Light plays almost the same role fire once did, and your nervous system has not caught up to the difference. For most of human history, after the sun went down, the world became genuinely dangerous. Predators hunted at night. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. The only thing standing between you and the dark was a fire, and fire did three jobs at once. It pushed back predators. It signaled to your group exactly where the safe zone ended. And it lit faces close enough to read expressions, which mattered more than you might think. A psychologist named John Bowlby spent decades studying what makes humans feel secure, and his research kept circling back to one core idea. Safety is not really about the absence of threat. It is about the presence of a reliable haven you can return to. He called it a safe base. Children show it clearly. They explore, then dash back to a parent, touch base, and head out again. Adults do the same thing, just with less running. Your home is supposed to be that base. And firelight, or anything that mimics it, tells your nervous system the base is intact. This is why a warm lamp feels different from an overhead light, even though both are technically just light. Overhead lighting is flat, even, and shadowless. It resembles midday sun, a time when your ancestors were typically out in the open, exposed, working, alert. Warm, low, flickering light resembles the fire at the mouth of the cave. It tells your body the work is done. The watch has ended. You can stand down. Have you ever noticed candlelight makes a room feel later than it is, almost regardless of the clock? That is not your imagination. That is your circadian system reading the wavelength of the light and concluding, correctly by ancient standards, that night has fully arrived and exposure has ended. Now add the blanket. Touch is one of the oldest safety signals your body has, older than language, older than fire. A neuroscientist named Robert Sapolsky has spent much of his career studying stress hormones, particularly cortisol, and one of his most consistent findings is brutally simple. Chronic stress comes not just from danger itself, but from unpredictability and lack of control. Your body is constantly measuring how much control you have over your environment. A blanket is control you can hold in your hands. It is warmth you applied yourself, weight you chose, pressure you can adjust. Studies on weighted blankets have found measurable drops in cortisol and increases in serotonin and melatonin, the same chemical shifts your body produces when it believes the threat window has closed for the night. So when you wrap yourself up on the couch, you are not being lazy. You are administering a dose of biochemical reassurance that took your species 100,000 years to engineer through trial and error. Why does all of this matter now, when none of us are fending off nighttime predators? Because your environment changed far faster than your nervous system did. You now spend your days under fluorescent lights, in open-plan offices, scrolling through other people's lives on a screen that never goes fully dark. Your amygdala does not know the difference between a predator and a notification. It just knows your body has been in a low-grade state of alertness for hours, sometimes for years. This is part of why the modern obsession with coziness, hygge, soft lighting, blanket forts for adults, is not a trend so much as a correction. Culturally, more people are gravitating toward calm, soft, low-stimulation spaces precisely because daily life has become so relentlessly exposed. Always visible. Always reachable. Always, in some small biological sense, out in the open field rather than tucked into the cave. You are not chasing an aesthetic. You are trying to find the refuge half of Appleton's equation, in a world that mostly offers you prospect. Visibility, exposure, performance, all day, every day. Think about the last time you actually felt that specific, sudden exhale of relief. Closing the front door behind you after a long day. Pulling the curtains. Turning a lamp on instead of the overhead light. Your shoulders drop a little. Your breathing slows. You did not decide to do that. Something older than your conscious mind made that decision for you, the same something that once decided whether your ancestors lived through the night. And maybe that is the real reframe here. You think you are choosing comfort. You are not. You are obeying a survival instruction that has outlived the danger it was built for, but never the need for safety itself. The candle is not a candle. It is a small, contained fire at the mouth of a cave you carry with you wherever you live now. You light it. You pull the blanket over your legs. You dim the lights, and something in your chest finally lets go. It feels small. It is not small at all.